This is a review of Bella's math story, and it's all about factoring. So factoring is something that you can do to make an expression simpler. And it starts with the idea of multiplication. This first problem here says, what's the greatest common factor of 3 and 12? We'll come back to multiplication. 3 has factors of 1 and 3, and 12 has factors of 3 and 4. Because they both have 3 as a factor, then you would mark here. So what you're doing is you're finding common factors in different types of problems. So 3 and 9, they both have a factor of 3. 1 and 3, 9, 3 and 3. So you take the common factor and you put it in front of some parentheses. Now make a division problem. 3 divided by 3 is 1. We need to put x with that also. And now do 9 divided by 3 is 3. Sorry, that's supposed to be this color. There's a subtraction sign in there, so you need the subtraction sign to continue. 3x minus 3. These are the same things here. You wouldn't normally put 1 in front of a variable. You just know that there's one of those numbers. Here's how you check it. To check, you distribute 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 3 is 9. 3x minus 9. So you know that this is the correct answer because if you distribute it, it gives you your original response. When the number before the first variable, the coefficient, is negative, you need to factor out a negative to make the first number inside the parentheses positive. Okay, so like this. If you have 3x plus 9, negative 3x plus 9, then you want to factor out a negative 3. So inside the parentheses, you have a positive coefficient for your variable. What I mean by that is, this number here needs to be a positive number. So if you didn't know this, then you might say, okay, this is not the correct way, this is wrong. You might say 3 negative x plus I actually need to fix that one there because that should be a negative 3. X minus 3, because this positive 9 divided by that negative 3 should be a negative 3. Anyway, so if you did it wrong, it would look like this. You'd just factor out this 3, and then you'd have a positive 3 here. Now, this is wrong because there's a negative sign right here in front of the variable, and you don't want that. When you're factoring, you want it to be positive like this. So if you have a negative coefficient, like that 3 right there, the negative 3 in front of the x, if you have that negative, then you factor out a negative. So this needs to be true. Okay, 7x plus 21 is our next problem. Factor that. So 7 and 21 both have a factor of 7. 1 times 7 and 3 times 7. Because they both have a factor of 7, 7 goes outside the parentheses. And then you make a division problem. 7x plus 21. We're going to factor that. So you're doing 7 divided by 7 gives you 1x. And remember, we don't normally write the 1 in front of the variable. If there's no number there, then it's a 1. You just know that it equals 1. Now do the division problem of 21 divided by 7 is going to give you 3. Now here's how you check it. You distribute 7 to x, and that gives you 7x. Distribute 7 to 3, and that gives you 21. And everything is positive, so this is the correct response. 7 parentheses x plus 3. Or 7 times the quantity x plus 3. 6x plus 14 can be factored because both terms are even. That is true. 6, 14 both have a factor of 2, 2 and 3, and 2 and 7. So what you would do to factor 6x plus 14, you would factor out the 2, so put 2 in front of the parentheses, and then do 6 divided by 2 gives you 3, and then do 14 divided by 2 gives you 7, and then bring the x here, and all of these numbers are positive, so this remains positive. So yes, that can be factored. Okay, the number didn't show up here, but it must have been something like this. Negative 4x plus 8. And you would factor out the negative 4 so that you'd have a positive. Yeah, this is correct. The other answers are goofy, aren't they? But remember, if the number in front of the variable, if the coefficient is negative, then you factor out something that's negative to make the coefficient inside the parentheses positive. Factor 6x plus 20, 6 and 20. They're both even. They both have a factor of 2. So use that knowledge to help you with your factoring. 2, now do 6 divided by 2. 6 divided by 2 gives you 3. And then do 20 divided by 2. 20 divided by 2 gives you 10. And then you want the x in front of that. And everything here is positive, so this stays positive. Now, distribute to see if it works. 2 times 3x, is that 6x? Yes. 2 times 10, is that 20? Yes. So this 2 times the quantity 3x plus 10, that's what you need for that problem. Right here. It is correct to factor out 2 because both numbers are even. This actually doesn't show up, which is really strange. It must have been something like this, negative 2x plus 10. So you would factor out a negative 2 if you can. And I have no idea why there's no response here. I don't know why. I'm sorry about that. Okay, factor 2x plus 2. So they're both even. This is the correct response. Factor 3x plus 9. So 3, 1 and 3, 9, 3 and 3. So put 3 in front of parentheses, and then do division. 3 divided by 3 gives you 1x. 9 divided by 3 gives you 3. Everything there is positive, so you keep your plus sign. This was for what we just did, factor 3x plus 9. Factor 5x plus 15. They both have a factor of 5. Check it by distributing 5x plus 15. Factor 4x plus 16. 4 is a factor of both of those. Distribute to check it. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 4 is 16. Correct. Factor 2x plus 12, 2, x plus 6, distribute to check. Yep, looks good. Twelve goes in front, x plus 2, this is correct. 7x plus 35, that's on the next screen. 7 is the common factor for both of them, and then x plus 5. And this is the correct response here.